We are live. We are direct. She leads, she sells with Rosie Ortiz, who is an empowerment coach, helping women to live a life of passion and purpose in every area of their life.
Yes. Thank
Also
you. Thank you, Jay.
helps them to really step into the version who takes the right decisions, who commits to their vision and their intentions and steps into their purpose, passion, and removing the limits of the past. And welcome, Rosie Ortiz. Hey, sister.
Hey, Jay. How are you?
Muy bien, muy bien, muy bien.
Good.
Speak
Muy
to me.
bien.
Yeah,
Muy bien. Thank
yeah,
you. Thank you.
yeah,
Gracias.
yeah. Tell me, like, what does sales, let's get straight into sales. What does selling mean to you? How are you selling? Yeah.
How am I selling? I think that's a great question, Jay. You know, I have to be honest with you. I think for a really long time I was scared to sell. It's not like naturally I am someone who goes out there and is big on selling. But I quickly realized that being in this business, right, and coaching and in speaking, there is this certain level of selling myself and selling my coaching programs and all the things that I offer. So I realized really quick that that had to change. But if I were to be quite honest with you, Jay, um, I think that what changed for me is realizing this was like the little niche for me, realizing that if I did what I call transferring belief, that it my message was going to kind of sell itself. And that's what I've been concentrating on lately. So much so that I've actually developed a whole coaching program and something that I plan to launch actually right now for January, just because I believe in it so much. And it is about transferring belief and making sure that the people that I'm working with leave transformed, right? When they leave transformed, I really believe that you don't have to do a lot of hard selling, but rather whatever it is, whether it's a product, a service, a solution, an idea, whatever it is going to do the selling for you. And so that's kind of what I do for sales.
No, thank you for sharing that. And I think you say a key part because if we're living in the land of information, then that information is everywhere, right? But when
Yeah.
we're changing at the level of identity, when we're giving insights and when we're helping people to actually implement, then it becomes a no-brainer to work with Rosie. No, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me know who you serve. Who do you serve?
Yeah.
Women who are they six figure? Are they starting? Like,
So
yeah,
I'll work with any type of woman. So six figure or women that are just starting. My main thing is really women who so I I like to label myself as helping women find their wonder, right? I help them find that wonder factor, that really unique thing about them. And really, what I come in to do is work with a group of people that many times have forgotten who it is that they are, or, because life happens to all of us, Jay, they maybe forget their dreams, those dreams and those visions that they've had from a very young age. And so, my job is to come in and to kind of reawaken that in them and to help them to get in touch with their wonder factor and to start living those dreams again and to start reaching their goals. So it's not so much about a bracket as far as income is concerned, but more like a state of life. I'd like to I consider myself to be more of a mindset coach and even a mindset speaker. So I realize that really all of us deal with mindset issues and limiting beliefs and things that hold us back. So my ideal client is really anyone who needs to get rid of some things that are that have kept them back and that are holding them back, and they're done and they're trying to make a transition and move into a new stage of life. So that's who my ideal client is.
amazing. I think you share a brilliant point, Rosie, in terms of we know the psychology is 90% of success. Why strategy is ever abundant. We could go to ChatGPT and find the strategy. Right? However,
Yeah.
ChatGPT will not do the actions for us, will not control the emotions. And so that's why people work with people like yourself to really get dialed in. I think that's powerful. What is the main mindset block that your women mainly come to you that's stopping them from taking that next level growth?
Yeah. I think for the women that I come across as the underlying factor, most of the time it's fear. um, fear of becoming who they're meant to be. And so, what I really realize is that most people in general, not just women, right? Because again, I speak mainly to women, but I have so many men that reach out and say, you know what, I'm connecting with what you're saying. And this isn't just for women, like it's impacting my life as well. But fear is a really big thing. And I feel like if we learned to just realize that fear is always going to be there, fear is never going to leave. Fear is just doing its job, right? And its job is to basically act like what I'd like to call like a checkpoint. It's like a checkpoint on our way to stardom, on our way to meeting our goals. And when we start to acknowledge that fear is going to be there, and all it's doing is bringing up those facts, right? Like, hey, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to invest that money? Are you sure you want to take that big step? So it's just a checkpoint. And once we learn that, almost like when we're driving on a highway or something, that there are checkpoints that we just stop just to kind of make sure that everything is squared away. That's what fear is too. So we stop at that checkpoint and we can acknowledge the fear that's there, but our job is to get past that and to know that if we are experiencing the fear, all it means is that we are on the right road, right? Because if we're not, if where we're going we don't come across fear, then in my opinion it just means that what where we're headed, or those goals or those dreams that we have just aren't big enough. So I would say that it's probably that fear for everyone, again, men and women alike.
Amazing.
It
Tell me,
is.
tell me, what's the big goal for 2026 for yourself?
Ah, my big goal for 2026 is, like I mentioned, transferring belief. So it's something that I have been putting into play myself, this past year, and so much so that I really want to help. Not just speakers, but people that maybe are in sales, or people that have a product, a service, again, a solution, idea, something that they want to really get out there. And I mentioned speakers because obviously that's my line of work. So I'm really, really in tune with what I feel might be the lack in that area. And I can't tell you how many speakers I see that go out there, and maybe they are inspirational, and maybe they are funny and things like that. But we really need more transformational speakers. And so my big goal for 2026 is not just is to take what can be a motivational message, and to help people step up their game so that it's no longer just something motivational or something funny or inspirational, but rather they are transforming their audience, and they're giving them next steps so that they too can accomplish and can reach that. So I would say that that's one of my big goals. And my second big goal is I just launched my second book called Wonderlust this past October. And I feel like it's a message that women out there really, really need to hear. And it's a message about breaking out of the familiar and stepping into the unknown and learning to chase wonder in all these different areas of our lives. And so that's another goal of mine, to just continue to push the message of Wonderlust out, and continue to inspire women and to help women transform into that better version of themselves in 2026.
Wow. I sense a grounding in you. I sense that you've done a lot of inner work.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Sometimes it takes a moment to figure out exactly what it is that you want to do, or your specific niche. And though I feel like I've been clear about my niche for some time now, um, it's a constant refining and tweaking of your message. And I think that that's where I'm at now. Just I've refined my message and tweaked it so much. And so again, I just really want to help women find their wonder. And then on the other side, on the more practical side of things, help people that are looking to launch a speaking career, or again, in sales or any other
Amazing.
industry like that, to up their game and to go from what I call just being good at what they do to being great at what they do.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely, Jay. Pulling
Currently
out what
digging
your
in,
goodies.
currently to digging into this book over here. And this book has helped me really to formalize my system of sales. So there's four different energies I've coined together in terms of having done sales for 7 years. Fearful Fiona energy. being very like fearful, serving Susie, like people that serve and they serve, they're undercharged, but they're serving and serving. To joyful Juliet, where you find your lane and your business becomes the carnival, to limitless Lara, and limitless Lara sees limitless speaking gigs, limitless money to invest, limitless joint venture partners, limitless people to work with. What are
I like
you
that one.
reading? Yeah. What are you reading currently? And give me a golden nugget from what you're reading.
I am reading, actually, I just started this week to read something called Wild Courage.
What?
And have you heard of that one?
I've heard of it, yeah.
It's a very good book. I'm forgetting her name right now, Jenny, and I'm forgetting the last name, awful of
Jenny Wood,
me.
I think. Jenny Wood? Yeah.
Yes, Jenny Wood. Jenny
Yeah.
Wood. And it is a great book. So I just started, but she takes this approach where she takes what we usually perceive as negative things like being weird or shameful, I think is what shame is what she calls it, and brutal and reckless. And what she's doing is she kind of gives it her own twist, right? So for example, being weird, or what people perceive as being weird, is not necessarily, she gives it her own definition and her own spin. So she doesn't see being weird as being weird, but really like um putting yourself out there and really exposing who you are, which a lot of people might look at as weird, right? Because when we don't tend to fall into what people consider normal, we're looked at as weird. But and again, this is just the first chapter because it's all I've gotten through, but it's about looking at weird in a different way. And it's funny because again, I just started to read this book and it's already um giving me a new perspective and a new point of view. And she calls you to have courage and to be daring and to be bold and to go out there and to really be your authentic self. And again, Jay, I haven't gotten through the whole thing, but thus far what I've read has been amazing. So Wild Courage is what I'm starting I'm saying the new year off with, because although we're still ending 2025, it'll be a little bit before I finish it. So that's what I'm starting the new year with. Wild Courage.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing. And like there is an author, his name's Dan Sullivan, and he speaks about the whole element of courage, because once you have the courage, then you can lean into getting competent. Then you're gonna have the confidence. And so the courage is not ever gonna, it comes before the competence and the confidence. And so some people are looking for the competence without the
Yeah.
courage. They're looking for the confidence without the courage. So it all breeds from that courage. And that's why people employ you, Rosie, because you give the clarity. And there's nothing like having clarity to create that right environment for people to be courageous. There's something to be courageous for.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that we could all use a little bit more courage, kind of like the lion in The Wizard of Oz, which happens to be one of my favorite movies. So I always reference back to that. But yeah, we need the courage because you're right. If we have the competence, and the skills and all the things, but if we don't have the courage to step out, well, then we might as well not have it at all. I think it kind of falls a little bit in line. I love this quote, Tim Notkey, not sure if you're familiar with it, but it says hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, right? So, but it's kind of like the same thing. You can have all the talent that you want, but if you don't have the courage to step out and put it out into the world and be weird, like Jenny Wood says in her book, and all the things, then you're not really going to get really far. So courage, I agree, it is like number one on the list of things. If you don't have it, you need to get yourself some.
Yeah. And as coaches, we're not just a coach by certificate, we're professional athletes.
Yes.
And so just like a professional athlete has a nutrition coach, has a fitness coach, a mindset coach, like we need these elements, right? We need lead gen help, we need sales, mindset, embodiment. all of these elements of things because we are professional athletes ultimately, because people aren't just choosing one coach.
Yeah.
They're not choosing one solution. They've maybe got 5.
Yeah.
They've got 5 solutions. Okay, so why, Rosie, in that
I
regard?
you know, and that's why I appreciate your podcast so much, Jay, because I am a believer, like, why reinvent the wheel, right? If something is working, then there's no need I mean, and don't get me wrong, there's just something to be said about creativity, and there's new techniques that come about all the time. So I'm not trying to confuse the two. But what I am saying is, when you have a podcast like yours and people are sharing their tips and all their secrets and all the things that they've learned throughout their years of experience, then I truly appreciate something like this, where we can all come on and kind of share, this is what's working for me. Or, oh, really? Well, I tried this and this is what's working for me. It's not a one size fits all, but again, there's things that aren't going to change. And I guess it's just about finding that one thing in sales that's really going to work for you. And so again, I appreciate spaces like this where people want to share what their secrets are, and at the same time, others that are searching for new techniques or new ways of doing it can come on and learn from you and from the people that you bring on.
Muchas gracias, señorita.
De nada.
Let them know.
I speak a little Spanish.
Oh.
Un poquito.
Yeah, so tell me, how can I get in contact with you? Who you looking for?
Yeah. So, I am on LinkedIn and I am on Instagram as well as on Facebook. And my handle in all those three is at Wonder in Your Woman. So at Wonder in Your Woman. Or I can also be reached by email, and that would be Rosie at Wonder in Your Woman. And I'm always open, Jay, for coaching, with women. That's what I do primarily, but I'm always open for speaking opportunities. I do speak again to different groups of women, whether it's in organizations. We have a lot of women are getting set up now for International Women's Day, which is quickly approaching in March, and the schedule does start to fill up. But open for opportunities for speaking again for with organizations, or sometimes it's just women's conferences, or even for podcasts. But yeah, I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity at Wondering Your Woman or Rosie at wonderingyourwoman.com. And you can also visit my website, wonderingyourwoman.com.
Wow, I am in the midst of a glorious, special, amazing coach, and yeah, it's been a real pleasure to connect. I'm going to get these clips over
Thank
to
you.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it.